What is up, YouTube? Today I'm giving you a behind the scenes look as to how I edit my YouTube videos on my M1 MacBook Pro. You guys are gonna see the power and potential of the M1 MacBook Pro, as well as you guys are gonna learn some of my workflow tips and tricks for me in Final Cut Pro when I edit a project. So right here, I have an example of a finished product, a finished timeline. Actually, let me stretch the timeline so you guys can see with all of the edits and overlays and color grading and things like that. This is what a finished product would look like, but let's get into the basics and the beginning of how I do it. So the first thing I do is I create a library. So every project has its own library, so everything is contained. I'm also very organized in my folders. So as you guys are gonna see right here, I have the folder pulled up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down my editing workflow on my last video, which was Camera Basics 101. So if you guys wanna learn about camera basics and how to properly use your camera, I highly recommend you check out that video. Oh, on another note, today's video is being brought to you in partnership with Epidemic Sound. Shout out to Epidemic Sound, they're a great partner to the channel, and I just love everything they do and offer for creators like me and you. So hopping in to this, as you can see, I already had my library, but I'm gonna create a new one. And we're gonna call this How I Edit My Videos. I'm going to create that library. So I have this set up in here. Now this is where organization is key when you are editing your videos. I have all of these already pre-made folders. Like I have an add-in that I need to do. I have my B-roll and then I have my talking head. I'm literally going to drag these right here, and it's gonna organize everything for me. It creates these little subcategories, and every time I click on each one, all of the clips are properly organized. That's key. You have to be organized. Now, granted, I'm using Final Cut Pro and I'm showing you all the tips in Final Cut Pro, but a lot of other editing softwares are gonna have similar, possibly, I hope, to what Final Cut Pro is, but this is why a lot of creators use Final Cut Pro, because it's just ease of use. After I've done that, let's create the project, because what you guys see down here is the other project. So we have to create a new project, and I'm gonna give it its name, and then I shoot in 4K, but then I go to 4096 by 2048. And the reason why I do that, if you guys haven't noticed, when you watch my videos on your smartphone, they're in a 2:1 ratio, which means they take up the majority of the space of these smartphones. Smartphones have gotten taller and longer, so when you put a 16:9 typical set in there, it creates those big black bars. At least when you watch my video, you have less of black bars, and it's a more pleasant viewing experience. That's a pro tip, number one, extra bonus tip that I just gave you right there. And if you were gonna do it in 1080, I think it's 1080 by 960 or something, just look up 2:1 ratios, and then that's how you should create, because the majority of people who watch videos on YouTube use their smartphones. I'm giving y'all game today. So here it is, I have my project right here. And the first thing I wanna do is I'm gonna create a multicam. Now this is clutch, and this is the beauty of Final Cut Pro. Let me show you guys. So I have a talking head. I have 2 angles in this video. So I'm gonna select both clips. I just hit Command A to do that. And then I'm gonna right click and I'm going to create a new multicam clip. What is a multicam clip? I'll show you in a second. So I'm gonna name it Talking Head 001. I'm gonna hit OK. It's already set to 4K and all that because both of those videos are in 4K. Here it is, new multicam clip right here. It's already selected. I'm gonna tap W on my keyboard to get it in here. Another quick pro tip, I'm using the Elgato Stream Deck for a lot of my shortcuts. So like right now, I'm going to be able to, hold on, let me pull this up. I'm gonna be able to increase my waveforms as well as increase my clip height by clicking this, because it just has all of the shortcuts programmed into it. I highly recommend you learn shortcuts. If you're using any type of editing software, learn the shortcuts, because that's gonna save you in the long run, trust me. Another way to do it is if you were to click right here, drag this all the way over, and this is the setting I use. I like my waveforms bigger than the visual for the video and stuff like that. All right, so after I've gotten my multicam into here, there's a couple things I have to do. As you guys can see, it was recorded in 16:9, so all of the footage is having those black bars. These are the black bars that you would see if you were watching on your, well, that's how it looks when people watch typically on a smartphone. I have to stretch this a little bit so it fits in a 2:1 ratio. Very easy. Go to the beginning. I'm gonna go right here, and then I'm gonna go at spatial conform, and I'm just gonna click fill. Now, here's the dope thing about multicam. remember I had 2 clips and they got combined into one. When I press the number 2, it takes me to the other clip, which is this clip right here. And I'm gonna do the same thing, do a spatial conform and fill. So now both clips are filled within the 2-to-1 ratio right there. The next thing I'm gonna do is I have to choose the audio, because when you create a multicam clip, it's taking 2 video clips and smashing them together. So you have the option to choose which video clip has the audio. And that is this video clip, which was from the Ninja V. So I have to right click, go to active audio. This is from the A7 III overhead, and this is the Ninja. So I click on the Ninja, now I have my Ninja audio, which you see is a lot better, but it's not there yet. I have a custom preset, which we might drop on you in the future. I don't know, we'll see, spam the comment sections. But I have my own CJKT audio combo. I dropped that on. As you're gonna see, it's gonna get rid of all of the peaking and it like brings the audio up. So this just adds that audio sound that I'm looking for to my vocals. I already have it presetted, I have it ready. And that's the thing about presets and shortcuts, they help the workflow go quick. I got this right here, right? Looking good, looking pretty good. And let me show you what's dope about multicam. So right now it's on this camera. Now if I press just the number 1 on my keyboard, it switches cameras. And then if I press the number 2 again, it switches cameras. You can just play through and just switch cameras and things like that so easily from the press of a couple buttons. Gotta love Final Cut Pro for that. Let me just make a quick note. The M1 MacBook Pro imported all of my footage. This is 4K 10-bit, and then there's a 4K 8-bit one. And I was able to create a multicam in seconds. You guys gotta understand, on an Intel-based Mac, that would not be the case. You would be waiting for things to process, but nevertheless, I'm on the M1 and I got real-time scrubbing. This is absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, I'm all about workflow. And usually I have like an older project that I would pull from where I get the typical things that I like my intro and my audio and things like that. So that's what we're gonna do. We go to another project. I'm gonna take all of my like intro elements, all of my overlays. If you guys are wondering, I get a lot of those overlays from Motion VFX. A lot of other creators do. It's just drag and drop, a couple tweaks, and you have your overlay. So let me add that to my other project. I do this all the time. Literally, I'm copying and pasting a lot of things. So I'm gonna do that, copy and paste that in, and then you guys are gonna see what I now have. So I now have my intro screen, which is the Unplugged Creator episode 3. And then it's gonna go into my intro. Next thing I need to pull in is audio. I get all of my audio for all of my projects from Epidemic Sound, and I typically use the same audio backtracking. It's always good to put a little bit of audio tastefully in the background under your vocals. That helps the brain subconsciously retain information that you're given. As you guys are gonna hear in this video, there's a backtrack, but let's bring our backtrack in from my favorite artist on Epidemic Sound, MBHD Nick. I tend to use this all the time. I also have a sound effect that I use in the beginning, the digital sound effect. I'm gonna show you guys that as well. So I copy this, let me paste this in here, quick and easy. Now we have audio. Here's another thing. When I'm editing, my main thing is to remove any dead space or any like mistakes or whatever. If there's ever a moment where there's dead space, we get that out of there because we want the video to continue on. So there's some dead space in the beginning where it's just a black screen, and I'm going to remove that right now. I have my trim to start. Let's go to the beginning. Let's watch it back really fast. So boom. What's up, Unplugged family? Today, I'm going to teach y'all players how to use a camera. And if you're not a part of the Unplugged family, hit the subscribe button. All right, so as you can see, all those overlays are lining up. One tip that I skipped over is the instant color grading that I do. Remember, I was teaching you guys about log and how you got to correct it with the log LUT that you could get from the manufacturer. I'm gonna do that to both of these clips. So my overhead is S-Log3 from Sony. As you can see, it looks flat as ever. I literally click on the clip after opening my multicam clip, go here into the eye, and then I go to camera LUT, and I'm gonna apply the S-Log3 Gamma 3 Cine correction LUT. And now it's Rec 709. Now, you could tweak that a little bit more to your liking. Like, let me see, let me just add a little bit of color wheels. Let me pull up, hit Command 7. This gives you the graph right here so you can see where everything is aligning. We can get it a little bit more darker right there. Let me see, I want that Pixel 5 box not to be overexposed. So just a quick little edit, and then here we go, do the same thing to this one. Now this one is very easy. I literally just put the C-Log LUT on top of this. Let me go to the info really fast. Go to camera LUT. Now I do the 33 grid 709 Canon LUT because I'm shooting in 10-bit 422. See, these are the things you gotta learn about when you are correcting your footage. So now the footage looks totally different. It looks almost ready to go, and it's not. I have one more stylized LUT that I'm gonna put on here. But here we are. What's up, Unplugged family? Today, I'm gonna teach y'all players how to use a camera. And if you're not a part of the Unplugged family, hit the subscribe button and join along. And there you go. You hear that underlying background music that I use, that I got from Epidemic Sound, which is a perfect segue for me to talk to you guys about Epidemic Sound. You have to add audio into your projects, whether it's effects and things like that. Matter of fact, on that note, let me grab the effects that's supposed to be here with my intro. Now, on my intro, I have an added effect. It's like a glitch effect that I got from Epidemic Sound. So I typically will use this one. Now, it's a very fast glitch, but that's no problem because what we're gonna do is we're gonna add it in, but we're gonna slow it down a little bit. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go to slow and I'm gonna put it at like 50%. Then I'm gonna pull it down. I'm gonna add an EQ. You can literally copy and paste it just like this, as you guys can see. And I'm gonna paste it onto here. And then you guys are gonna hear this glitch.
What's up, Unplugged family? Today, I'm gonna teach y'all players how to use a...
And then right where this is gonna go out at, I'm gonna put this here, but then I'm gonna reverse it so it kind of sounds a little different. Where's it go? Reverse clip. Okay, boom. So
Unplugged family, today, I'm gonna teach y'all players how to use a camera. And if you're not a part of the Unplugged family, hit the...
So it's a very subtle glitch effect. And these are the things that are sound design that are most important. And these are the tools that you get from Epidemic Sound. I have my backtrack, which is an instrumental track from an MBHD Nick song. But here's another dope thing. They give you stems as well. So if you find a song that you like, you can download the stems. So it'll have a track for the melody, like the piano. You'll get the bass separately. You'll get the drums. So say, and you'll have the vocal track. Like, so you can pull out the vocals and say you don't like the drums, you just want the melody and the bass. You can like take those two tracks and use them as your backtrack, all different types of things. And the beauty about it is the fact that by using Epidemic Sounds while having a valid subscription, which you pay a small nominal fee for, you are covered from any and every copyright strike from YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the list goes on. So all of your social media platforms and posts, I just use Epidemic Sound. I never have to worry about getting a copyright strike or a DMCA takedown, which is crazy heavy right now on Twitch. When I'm live streaming, I'm using Epidemic Sound. So I have music with vocals that's current sounding, banging a lot of MBHD Nick, HD Bendo. I got all the music I need. It's modern, it's very high quality, it's very well organized, and it's for creators. And if you do commercial work as well, you're out there shooting little commercials for neighborhood shops, or you doing big commercial plans or whatever, at the end of the day, they have a commercial plan as well. So whether you just doing this for YouTube, content creator just like me, or you have a business and you're doing commercial projects that you're posting online and everything, you can cover all of your copyrighted needs musically and sound effectly. That's just a word we making up. All on me for a 30-day free trial, you know what I'm saying? And low-key, there might be a little promo on this 30-day free trial, giving you a little extra, but that's only for like a week, so you got 7 days. So hit the link down in the description below right now and get your Epidemic Sound hookup. Now let's get back into finishing editing this project. And this is something I want to show you guys that I do. I do a lot of overlays. I like to put a lot of text, and I like to emphasize things because it helps with retention and breaks up the monotony of the video, and also gives you something like cool to look at as well. And also it could be informative. Visual cues like this are the things that I use to help keep the retention, and just adds to the quality factor of creating high-end videos on YouTube. Right here we got this B-roll clip when I mentioned the Canon M50, which to me is one of the best, if not the best, beginning YouTube camera that I could recommend out there for you guys. So there's a link in the description for that as well if you guys want to check out that camera. So right here, when I say you might get like the Canon M50, I could just put that B-roll.
Or you might get like the Canon M50, which is my #1 recommended beginning YouTube camera.
So we just added in that B-roll, right? And then there's another point where I would add in some text to emphasize what I'm trying to say. So
my #1 recommended beginning YouTube camera. A link down in the description below to all of the equipment, all the things I'm going to show you guys today. Or you start off on the Sony ecosystem.
Right now on this M1 MacBook Pro, I'm editing in Final Cut Pro. I'm recording audio in Adobe Audition, as well as I'm recording my screen with the QuickTime player. So I got 3 labor-intensive apps running right now, and I'm sitting here doing my editing flow. Now, granted, typically when I'm editing, I have none of these other things running. It's smooth as butter, you guys. So just understand, I'm putting my M1 MacBook Pro to the ultimate test right now, and it's standing up to it right now. As you guys can see,
what's up, Unplugged family? Today, I'm gonna teach y'all players how to use a camera. And if you're not a part of the Unplugged family, hit the subscribe button and join along. So,
it's doing pretty good if you ask me. Now, here's another thing I want to add in. I'm finna add in a color grade to this footage, a slight color grade. And this is how I do it. I'm about to show you how easy it is when you have presets that work. Let me add this in. Like literally, all I'm going to do is copy and paste. I do this all the time because it's the same LUT, the same look, and I do it over and over. From project to project, I'm literally just copying and pasting. And now I have my stylized look. Now, that's with it, without it, with it, without it, with it. As you can see, it brings those beautiful candy colors. It just helps them pop, and it also corrects them a little bit. I love this workflow. Here's another thing, you guys. I have the same outro on every video, and simply, it's another copy and paste job. I literally just go to the project from before, copy, and I'll paste it. And this is another song from MBHD Nick. Shout out to my bro, MBHD Nick. I just love his music. I was a big fan of his music, always on Epidemic Sound. And luckily, I got the opportunity to interview him. It's a video here on the channel if you haven't checked that out as well. So, and I love his music because it's very like, it's in music. You know, when you go to these other audio libraries like YouTube Audio Library, which is free to use, but the audio selection is just trash. It's super subpar. So a lot of us, the reason why you want to use the music that sounds good, like your favorite like mainstream artist, is because that music is lit. Well, you can't use that because you don't have proper licensing for it. So what do? You get a service like Epidemic Sound, and you find an artist like MBHD Nick or someone else on there that's super dope that fits your style, and you use them. And that's exactly what I do. So typically I'll put like a little glitch transition on the outro. So literally I would end the video right there. So then we're gonna be able to drop the transition so that it has information for the transition. Now this transition, you need to let it render generally so you can see it. Like it'll never really work off of first play, but I'm gonna hit play anyway. So don't be surprised if it doesn't work. Kind of worked. So generally for my editing, literally how I get my project to look like this is I just play it through, I find all of the dead spots in there, and I eliminate them. It's simple as that. That's why I have my waveforms super big when I edit, is because I'm looking for, like, you know, you'll find those gaps where I'm not saying anything in the audio, or maybe where I messed up and things like that. Like, look at this gap right here. What is this? Oh, this is where I'm showing something else. So like, here's another great way to show you how multicam is so useful.
Probably show you guys an example.
And then I would just hit literally number 1, and then now you guys see my overhead and everything. Okay, so it's not properly aligned, right? I literally will align this. This is what I'm about to do. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna show you guys a lot. See, I'm not even aligned right. I'll stretch this out bigger. And then, okay. Bring this up a little more. So now I have a better overview. So
now let me just probably show you guys an example.
Actually, I should have had that cut in quicker. So look, I could just drag this, and now where I cut to the cameras is moved over.
So now let me just probably show you guys an example.
Now, I know this was like a mess up, I remember. So on the final edit, I like chopped it out, you know, and I just got it to where I needed to be. And that's what it's all about. Literally, all I'm doing when I'm editing is removing dead space, removing mistakes, removing anything that doesn't add value in the video and just condensing it down to hopefully get straight to the point or the key points that are necessary. I got my audio backtrack running throughout the entire video. I have my outro, I have my color grades, and then I like to do my text overlays and use B-roll. It's as simple as that. So I like to do this with Final Cut Pro because Final Cut Pro makes it very easy. As you guys saw in the limited amount of time that I showed you guys a lot of my editing workflow, you guys got to see me use a lot of copy and paste, and it's that simple, literally. Or I have presets. And then I'm gonna give you guys one last super bonus tip. If you guys use Final Cut Pro and you guys are exporting your footage and you're getting ready to upload it to YouTube, you guys are gonna thank me big time for this. You guys have to learn this. Instead of doing the share and going to master file, go to one of these. If you got 1080p, Apple devices 1080p. If you got 4K, Apple devices 4K. Why am I telling you to use this export setting? It's because it creates a M4V file, which is different. Typically you would do an MP4 or something like that. But the M4V file is gonna be a smaller file, number one. The quality is just as good. Here's the kicker. After you upload that smaller file, which is gonna upload a lot quicker, it also processes super duper fast. So instead of you having to wait forever for YouTube to process your footage, it's gonna process it like instantly. It's so much of a quicker upload speed and processing speed. You're welcome for that tip. My name is CJ, this is CJ Unplug. Join the Unplug family, baby, for more dope videos like this and tech videos and other hustle and find. I mean, I got a lot of stuff coming, you guys. I got you guys on deck. Hit the like button if you like the video. Peace, y'all.
They say if you can't beat them, then you join them. That's no option, I don't join, I always beat them.
All right, now I gotta stop like 8 things from recording right now, you know what I mean?
I was fake, you had to find me. Now I'm on B skating like I'm grinding. L hit me, said it's all about the timing. If you want the vision, get to spinning. My mama told me trust in God, it's never limits. Now I'm on the scoreboard, running up the digits. I put in work, you know I'm up to get it. Early bird gets the worm and the Yankee fitted. Like whoa, bags under my eyes and you know. Won't complain, I'm tired, I'm on go. For that grip, 10 toes till they swole. For that grip, 10 toes till they swole. Remember those days, those L's, I couldn't sleep right now. I get paid, vacay, I'm staying B-side.